Hi, welcome to Quick Coaching with Dave. I'm Dave Jacobs of Small Church Pastor. Thanks for stopping by. I'm a preaching coach, which means that people hire me to help them become better communicators. I love doing it. And I want to talk to you today about choosing a good sermon illustration. We hear a lot about you got to have sermon illustrations. You got to tell stories. People love stories. It's going to add color to your sermon. Well, I don't know that it's absolutely essential, but good illustrations do seem to help. Now, before I get into my kind of list of how to choose a great illustration, let me begin by saying make sure you don't have too many illustrations. I've heard some pastors, they've got illustration after illustration, story after story. By the time they're done, there's no room left for the Bible. Now, that's not a good thing. But here are some things to take into consideration for choosing a great illustration. First of all, choose an illustration that's contemporary, maybe from the headlines, dealing with things that most people out there are going to recognize. Telling some illustration from the Civil War might be good for your great-great-great-grandfather, but there's a good chance that he's dead. And so you want to choose an illustration that is contemporary. Along those same lines, be careful of choosing an illustration that obviously you got from a book or from a website. Some of the best illustrations are those from our own personal life. And any illustration where we're kind of making fun of ourselves, well, that's even better. People love that. But have you ever noticed people don't necessarily love you making fun of them? So be careful of any illustration about your family or somebody else in the church where you're kind of teasing them or making fun of them. You might be surprised. They might not think that's as funny as you were hoping that it would be. Speaking of humor, let's talk about jokes. If you're going to use a joke, make sure it's funny. I have a good friend named Marty Bowler. He told me that any joke about a chicken is just funny. Believe it or not, at the last church I preached, I actually told a chicken joke. And you know what? Nobody laughed. It wasn't funny, I guess. So make sure that if you're going to use a joke, it's funny. Run it past one or two people. If somebody just says, yeah, that's kind of funny, don't use it. Only use a joke if someone's just really throwing their head back and laughing. We want to make sure that our jokes are humorous. It's better not to tell a joke than to tell a joke that really isn't funny. Well, there are just some quick thoughts on how to choose a sermon illustration. Thanks for coming by. Once again, this is Dave Jacobs of Small Church Pastor. See you next time. Have a great week.